What's up? What's good, Washington fans? What's going on? Great morning. So some news this morning, some cuts that have already been made. Trey Quinn has been cut, and then Reuben Foster has been put on injured reserve. So he has been put on injured reserve before the roster was cut down to 53 guys before 4 p.m. So since he did not make the roster, since they did not put him on IR before or after 4 p.m. after the roster cuts, he is done for the year. Now, if they would have put him on the 53-man roster and then put him on IR after 4 p.m., then, they could have brought him back, week 3, week 6, week 8, or whatever it is. They could have stashed him and brought him back. But now, since they're putting him on injured reserve, he cannot play for the rest of the year. So his season is done. His 2020 season is over. Just to clarify that for some people that were confused, people were saying, oh, they can bring him back. They can do this and bring him back, stash and bring him back. That's not happening this season. And also keep in mind, Ron Rivera did not pick up his 5th-year option. So his time in D.C. Could be quickly over. I do not see Ron Rivera re-signing Reuben Foster. And you got to think of it this way, he did not sign Reuben Foster. It was the previous regime with Bruce Allen and other people. They were the ones that brought in Reuben Foster. I think Kyle Smith has something to do with that as well. But Ron Rivera did not bring in Reuben Foster. Same thing with Trey Quinn. He was one of the Gruden boys. Trey Quinn will probably be picked up off waivers by Jacksonville. I'd probably put $30, $40, $50 on that right now. Just like Chris Thompson, I could probably put money down that Jay Gruden's just licking his chops, just salivating, ready to sign Trey Quinn. He's probably happy as I don't know what. He's probably so happy about the Adrian Peterson cut as well. But, so Trey Quinn is being cut. We'll look at Trey Quinn's numbers in his time in D.C., his numbers, his stats really quickly here. His first season, he was injured. Mr. Irrelevant. He was injured in his first season in 2018. He played in 3 games, 2 starts, at 9 catches, 75 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then in 2019, he had 12 games, 6 starts, 26 catches, and 198 yards and 1 touchdown. So Trey Quinn, I'm not gonna say he was really disappointing in my opinion because he was the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. So I'm not gonna hype him up and say that he was much of a disappointment. I guess he is what he was. It is what it is. He was supposed to be the starting slot. Or he was the starting slot, I think, last year with Case Keenum. I think he was the starting slot. And he just couldn't get it going. Just not much separation. Not really good at punt returning. So that might mean that Isaiah Wright might be making this roster. That's big news for Isaiah Wright. I think, the wide receiver position, that's telling. We did not know who was going to have that 6th spot. I think Cam Sims is definitely going to make the roster. We don't know just yet. If Cam Sims gets cut, or Isaiah Wright gets cut, then I probably will make a video, of course, talking about the wide receiver position. So, of course, right now it's Terry, Steve, Inman. Inman's going to start. AGG's not starting. Inman's going to start. AGG's coming off the bench and the rotational guy. So that's the 4th receiver. And then I got Cam Sims being the 5th guy. And then it was a question mark between Isaiah Wright and Trey Quinn. So I think they're going to keep 6 guys, and Trey Quinn will be kept. Sean Davis was released, so that shows that Troy Apke really beat him out, and we're taking a $2 million cap hit for Sean Davis. He was really supposed to be the starting free safety. That's what Ron signed him to do. But Troy Apke balled out in camp and was hit sticking everybody and running all over the place, showing that 4.3 40 speed, and he really beat out Sean Davis. Now, I'm disappointed that he did release Hell Hinges. I'm not surprised. But Jeremy Sprinkle will be making this roster. I'm not a big believer in Jeremy Sprinkle, but I guess this is his last year or last season to really prove himself. He will be 3rd string because Marcus Ball surpassed him, and Logan Thomas will be starting at tight end. Other notable cuts, not very notable, but we'll just go over. Ryan Lewis, the cornerback, was cut. Donald Payne, the linebacker, was cut. Not Donald Penn, but Donald Payne. Timon Parris, the offensive tackle, was released. David Steisman, offensive lineman, released. Quarterback Steven Montez, released. Probably will be on the practice squad. Jordan Brelford, the defensive end out of Oklahoma State that was drafted last year, 7th-round pick, was released as well. He might be on the practice squad. Ross Pierschbacher was a 5th-round pick last year. He was released. Tony Brown, who we just signed last week, was released. The wide receiver out of Colorado, undrafted. Ryan B., the defensive lineman, was released. He's been in training camp for the last 3-4 years. I think he got released. Jeremy Reeves, the safety, has been released as well. He might be on the practice squad. And Mike Ledke, the offensive lineman, was placed on injured reserve. So it looks like he's out for the season as well. So those are the moves that have been made so far. The only moves I'm really disappointed into is probably that I'm disappointed in is probably the Hell Hinches cut. I did like Jordan Belfort. I'm not gonna lie, I did like Jordan Belfort, and that's about it. Yeah, so Trey Quinn is out. Isaiah Wright. Let's see what you can do, man. Let's see what you can do on special teams. I do feel like Reuben Foster had a chance. If there was actually preseason games, I feel like Reuben Foster is a guy that's probably better in the games than he is in practice, just because he can hit, man. And you are hitting in practice, but you're not trying to lay the wood out there, hit stick, and take somebody's head off like you are in practice. Now, I get it. They are physical in practice, but the way that they tackle in practice probably was a little bit different than what it was in training camp, in my opinion. I feel like Reuben Foster would have definitely been a force out there, especially if he would have been on the second string team. He probably would have been balling so much in the preseason games that, you know, he would have been like, okay, we got to put this guy on the first squad. And there's some other guys that would have showed out and balled out in the preseason game. So I think it really hurt some guys' opportunities, some guys' chances. I feel like Hell Hinches probably might have been able to beat out Jeremy Sprinkle if they would have had some preseason games. I mean, because Hell Hinches is better than Jeremy Sprinkle in my opinion. But, you know, we'll see. I'm rooting for Jeremy. I hope he can play well. I hope he proves me wrong and can at least catch something to stop dropping the football. And Timon Paris cut. So we'll see what happens with Cornelius Lucas. We'll see if he stays on the roster. But as of right now, like I said, Reuben Foster's on season-ending injured reserve. And Trey Quinn has been released as well. So I know a lot of people don't like Trey Quinn. So a lot of people are happy about that. Somebody was a little disrespectful and said Trey Quinn would be working at a Home Depot after this season or something like that. But no, he will be. He's going to get picked up. Trey Quinn is definitely going to get picked up for sure. He's going to get picked up. So I will be giving roster updates throughout the day. Might try to go live later on to summarize all the cut downs and the roster reviews and reaction, things like that. So make sure you have that notification bell ready and make sure you stay tuned. And then about Adrian Peterson. Last video I said I was confused, but hey, you know, I actually followed up saying I was confused, and I was like, no, I'm not confused. I understand that, you know, Scott Turner wants the Panthers offense. He wants the Christian McCaffrey kind of running back. A lot of motion is going to be ran, and he wants his running backs to be like wide receivers. So I understand the move. I get it. Adrian Peterson, 35. I would not have cut Adrian Peterson if it was up to me. I would have kept him because, you know, we've been scarred by so many injuries. And knock on wood, if Antonio Gibson goes down, then we're done. That's it. With the running back position, J.D. McKissick. I like Bryce Love. You just haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen him play yet. So that's just how I feel about it. I would keep as many guys as I can, and I probably would have released Peyton Barber instead of releasing Adrian Peterson if it was up to me. But hey, in Ron we trust, and Kyle Smith we trust, and I guess Scott Turner as well. So hopefully Antonio Gibson does really play well. He doesn't have to be like Walter Payton or Herschel Walker, like I said yesterday, but he just needs to be productive. He has to put up some numbers, though. He cannot be out there, just have, 300 yards rushing and 400 yards receiving. He needs to have at least over 500 yards in receiving and in rushing, in my opinion, for him to really, you know, impress me or to be productive, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. So, all right, y'all. Hail to Washington. Peace. Hail to the football team.